My husband, after 20 years of marriage, betrayed me by starting a relationship with our son's 18-year-old girlfriend. I believe this wasn't the only time, and that he may have been involved with other minors. That's why I decided to divorce him.
I'll be using pseudonyms. I'm 41 years old, a stay-at-home mom. My husband, let's call him Paul, is 48, and he works in finance. We've been married for almost 20 years. We have 2 kids, our son Eric, who's 18 and a high school senior, and our daughter Mary, who's 15. They are the light of my life. Over time, my marriage with Paul became stale. His work schedule, my exhaustion, and simply getting older. Eric has been dating his girlfriend Amy, also 18, for several years now. She's his first love, and I always thought of her as part of the family. But now, it's turned into a nightmare. Last week, I accidentally saw my husband's phone screen. It was a text conversation with Amy, my son's girlfriend. One of her messages said, "I miss sucking your cock." I froze. For hours I tried to convince myself I had misread it, but I hadn't. On his computer, I found a hidden folder filled with BDSM porn, clear signs of addiction. I also found saved photos of Amy from Instagram. They weren't explicit, but they were still proof. Then I checked his phone again, and I saw more of their conversations. It was even worse. He was mocking me behind my back, calling me fat and old, and Amy was laughing. I always suspected Paul might be cheating, but never like this. A month ago, I even found a thong in our bedroom that wasn't mine. I tried to convince myself maybe it was our daughter's, though that made no sense. He wasn't just cheating on me. He betrayed his own son. I don't even have the words for the rage, the horror, the disgust I feel. I'm paralyzed. I don't know how to tell Eric because Amy is his first love. It could destroy him. I don't want my kids to suffer, but I can't stay silent either. And then it hit me. I noticed Paul acting strangely right around the time Amy turned 18. Was he waiting for her birthday to pursue this? It makes me sick. How could I have lived next to such a monster and not seen it? I feel like a fool. Eric adores Amy, and the thought of telling him breaks me. But I will not hide the truth. It will hurt both him and Mary, but I can't cover this up. I haven't confronted Paul yet. I'm terrified of the domino effect. That's why I'm writing here. I need perspective. I need advice. Author's note. Many people asked how I saw the messages. He was closing apps on his iPhone, and I noticed iMessage still running in the background. Later, I checked again to confirm I'm not changing my story. That's exactly what happened. Top comments. Yogurt Closet OK 5338. If she just turned 18, isn't this illegal? There's no way they weren't doing something before. The age gap is 3 decades. Your husband looks like a predator. Call the police. OOP. She's 18 and 5 months now. I don't know when it started. He deletes his texts every couple of weeks, so I can't pin down the timeline yet. Author's note number 2. Thank you all for the overwhelming support. Sorry I can't respond to everyone. There's so much happening. I'm trying to be smart and strategic. To be clear, I never planned to hide this from my son. I only said I dreaded his reaction, but of course I know it has to be addressed as it's part of my plan. Right now, I'm pretending I don't know while gathering as much evidence as I can. I need to be prepared for anything. I'm protecting myself and my kids, and I won't put us in danger. I'll post a more detailed update later. But know this, your words have given me strength. I don't feel alone anymore. Update number 2, 5 days later. Thank you all so much for the support. It means the world to me. Honestly, sometimes I still can't believe this is happening. And when people write that my story is too crazy to be real, it almost comforts me, because that's exactly how I feel too. I wish it were fake. Right now, the kids and I are still staying at my brother's house. It's secured with alarms and strong locks, so I feel safe there. Paul calls me several times a day, but I don't pick up. Everything goes through my lawyer. Honestly, he scares me. Both Eric and I got tested. The rapid results came back clean, but we're waiting for the lab results. Eric already has an appointment with a therapist next week, which is important. He seems like he's in shock, holding everything inside, and it's hard to read what's going on in his head. But he still checks in on me, asking how I'm doing. He wants nothing to do with his father. Paul only calls my phone, never the kids. I can sense that Paul is panicking. He knows that if anyone digs deeper, he's in serious trouble. I keep thinking about that Zoom call with him, the look on his face. It was like watching a man whose whole world was collapsing. The fear was written all over him. I offered to set up therapy for Mary too, but she said not yet. She wants time. Instead, she started asking her friends if they had ever felt anything strange around her dad, and they admitted they had. They said he stared too much, that he hovered when they were over. One even said he checked her out, stared at her butt, and complimented the color of her yoga pants. At the time, nobody thought much of it. But now, in light of everything, it's disturbing. I feel ashamed that they had to go through that in our home. As for Amy, that's really why I'm writing this update. I completely agree with those who say she's a victim too. I've done everything I could to push her toward help. I spoke to her mother, and she's been keeping me updated. But Amy lives in denial. She refuses therapy, refuses doctors, and keeps trying to reach Paul, convinced they're in love. Paul, meanwhile, avoids her. He doesn't respond. Amy blames me for that. She thinks I took away his phone and that I'm controlling him. Anything her mother tries to show her, she rejects. She sees me as the villain and Paul through rose-colored glasses. Even when her mother showed her screenshots of his dating app profiles, Amy insisted I photoshopped them. She says she's found herself a real man, and that I'm jealous because she takes better care of him. And that matches exactly what I saw in their messages. Paul complaining to her about what I supposedly don't do in bed. Right now, Amy is convinced that she and Paul will be together in the long run. It's disgusting. I can only hope she wakes up one day. But for now, me stepping in directly won't do any good. Top comments. Useful. Escape 1845. I'm so sorry. From your posts, it's clear your husband was never really a good partner. But you will meet someone someday who loves you as you are. Your son will be okay too. He's learned firsthand what men should never be like. A painful lesson, but over time, he'll realize Amy was groomed and abused. I hope she eventually goes to the police. Honestly, I believe it all started before she turned 18. OOP, I believe that too. John Miliano, do you think they kept this secret almost the entire time she was dating your son? If that's true, your husband is just a pig. OOP. I don't know when it turned physical, but the grooming definitely started as soon as Eric began dating her. This friend and mentor role, it's been there from the start. Otherwise, she wouldn't be this attached after just 5 months. Minute Bus 6892. If they're both adults, then there's no crime. This is a family issue for lawyers to handle. The police don't need to be involved. O.O.P. The only hope is that Amy eventually has a moment of clarity and admits when it really began. But because she's 18 now and refuses to say anything that could get Paul in trouble, there's very little anyone can do, unless we find out about other girls I don't know about. Update number 3, 11 days later. Thank you again for the support. It means so much to me. Unfortunately, I've been getting a lot of negative and accusatory messages in my inbox. Some people are convinced I made this up. Someone posted somewhere that my story was debunked, and people believed it. They started sending me hateful messages, accusing me of doing this for money. But I'm not asking for a single cent. I came here out of desperation. I have nothing to gain from any of this. If you don't believe me, that's fine, but please don't cross the line by sending me personal insults. I continue posting only for those who support me. As for the divorce, it's moving forward. I won't go into details because I don't want to mess anything up. But I can say this. I have temporary custody of Mary. Paul is required to pay child support. There is a protective order in place, and he's not allowed to come near us or contact us. I'm very confident there's overwhelming evidence against him, enough to ruin him legally and destroy his life forever. I'll share more when I can, but for now, just know this. Justice will come. About the kids, Eric has already been to therapy twice. I know he's hurting, even though he tries to hold it together. We're doing everything we can to make sure he feels supported. My brother has been spending a lot of time with both kids, and they trust him. He and his wife have been amazing. Mary hasn't gone to therapy yet, but she promised she will when she is ready. Her anger has mostly turned into sadness. I hope she accepts help soon. Her friends have played a big role in this, and it affects her a lot. And about Amy. Many people asked if she and Eric see each other at school. No, they go to different schools. They met back in junior high, but later she went to an all-girls Catholic high school, while Eric stayed in public school. They live in the same town, so they started dating the summer before freshman year. Sadly, the news about Amy isn't good. She's seeing Paul again. Her mother is trying to forbid it, but Amy says, "I'm 18, I'm an adult, I can do what I want." Her mom has even threatened to kick her out, but I think that would be a mistake. If she does, Amy will just run to him for good. Lately, she's been spending more and more time with Paul. He ignored her at first, but now they're meeting again. Sometimes she's gone for hours at a time. There isn't much I can do to intervene directly. I'm doing what I can, but I believe things will change once the law catches up to Paul. I can only hope that when that happens, Amy will finally wake up. For now, I continue supporting her mother. That's all I can do. Top comments. Zealous Ideal Gold 5909. Honestly, Amy will only wake up when Paul sleeps with someone else, or when he turns on her and accuses her of seducing him. Even if he ends up arrested as a sex offender, I'm not sure it'll be enough for her to realize he's a creep. He has brainwashed her. Now I'm curious. Why is he seeing her again after ghosting her? Maybe he wants her to testify for him. And honestly, convincing Amy won't take much. You and her mother have done everything you could. The best thing her mom can do now is keep her under her roof and just wait. Let Amy know she always has a home, and pray she wakes up before she ruins her life. Important Wonder 8369. Please take care of yourself and don't let the trolls get to you. They're heartless people with nothing better to do than hurt someone who's already hurting. I don't know you, but your story has touched me. I'm so sorry you have to go through this. Take care of yourself because your kids need their mom. Update number 4. My ex-husband fled to Cambodia while my kids and I continue therapy. I'm sorry it's been so long since my last update. I never expected this much support for so long. Thank you so much. The messages keep coming in, and I can't answer them all. I just want to share how things are now for me and my kids. Quick recap. My husband, Paul, cheated on me with our son's girlfriend, Amy, when she had just turned 18. It became clear that he had been influencing her for years. On his computer, I found dozens of her photos, a hidden folder full of disturbing material, and chat logs where they mocked me behind my back. When I confronted him over Zoom, he completely fell apart. Red, sweating, stuttering, shouting the word context over and over. I filed for divorce. I took Eric and Mary to my brother's house. I met with Amy's mother, who confirmed everything. Amy insisted they were in love, refused therapy, and said I was jealous and trying to ruin their relationship. At first, Paul ignored her, but later they started seeing each other again. She was legally an adult, so there was nothing anyone could do. I worked with a lawyer, got custody and a protective order. More disturbing things came to light. His behavior around Mary's friends, the way he watched them, the comments he made. Looking back, the whole pattern was obvious. My kids were traumatized. Even a year later, they are still in therapy. I'm still shaken, and I don't know if I'll ever fully recover. Paul and Amy dated for several months. While the divorce was moving forward, I tried through her mother to get Amy to realize the truth, but she refused. She kept saying it was love. Then, just weeks before the divorce was finalized, Paul disappeared. He drained the last of our joint accounts, what I hadn't already secured, bought a one-way ticket to Phnom Penh, Cambodia, and vanished. I only found out through financial alerts. He stopped answering his lawyer. He never showed up in court. He filed nothing. He just dissolved. Amy, according to her mother, was devastated. She's now drifting, staying with friends, refusing to come home. The court granted me custody and finalized the divorce by default. Paul is in violation of the support order, but it doesn't matter. He's overseas, where there is no way to enforce it. No one can make him return. No one knows what he's doing there. And what chills me is that Cambodia is known for being a place where people with his tendencies can hide. Eric is now in college. He avoids anything related to Paul. I know he still hurts, but he doesn't show it. Mary is quiet too. Sometimes she recalls things, now seeing them differently. The other night, she asked me, "Mom, do you think he'll ever come back?" I stayed silent. I don't think she wanted an answer. I don't know what Paul is doing there. People told me to report him to the authorities. I've made the calls. I've filed what I could. But there's only so much they can do when there's no provable crime here. I don't believe he left just to avoid money. I believe he's dangerous. We're here. We're living. We're healing. We're trying. Thank you to everyone who still remembers and cares. It means more than I can say. Commenter 1, thank you for this update. I think about you and your kids often. You once mentioned that Paul might face legal trouble. Is that why he fled? OOP. That's my gut feeling. I believe he was involved in things that would have caught up with him eventually. Commenter 2. From my criminology background, people like your ex usually follow predictable patterns. I think he will eventually return, and when he does, he'll get caught. Maybe his leaving is a blessing in disguise. It puts real distance between him and your family. As a mother and as a woman, I want to thank you for protecting your children the way you did. It must have been so painful, but now it's time for you to heal. And please, don't feel guilty about Amy. If her life turns out badly, it's his fault, not yours. Commentaire 3. Partagez autant d'informations que possible avec les autorités internationales. This man is dangerous. I'm so glad you and your kids are holding on. I think of you often.
Thanks to everyone who watched the story to the end. I hope it was powerful and eye-opening. We haven't covered a case like this before. We do not support or condone the behavior of people like this. Infidelity isn't just a betrayal of a spouse. It's a betrayal of the family, of the son and the children. It's a nightmare. I completely understand the feelings of the women and the son. Their pain is obvious. To be honest, I felt such rage that I wanted revenge. But in real life, I know that violence won't solve anything. What are your thoughts? Please leave your opinion in the comments. Share the video, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next episode.